Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Derp Your Hooves. So today we are flying in the 414 Chancellor. It's a Cessna 414 Chancellor, and I have just updated it to the recent version, looking forward to flying it. And so we were flying in Japan from New Ishigaki Airport to the next island over. Just doing a really quick flight here, and I started to call in my landing approach. And when they assigned me the runway, I realized that I was too close, too high, and off course. So I decided to descend a little rapidly, and I managed not to overstress the aircraft. But as I came in, I was going to overshoot the runway. So, in a typical attempt to save it without having to go all the way back around, I just kind of turned off course, and I was paying attention to my gauges, and all of a sudden I noticed that they're frozen. And I can't tell what my altitude is, and I can't seem to tell what my airspeed is, and it's just becoming a total VFR thing, and I'm not even sure what my orientation is. So let's kind of see how this goes, and I'm going to tell you guys that we did use Pappy for the glide slope. It did help, and eventually the gauges kick back in. So let's just watch the video and see what this looks like. So I'm constantly looking over my shoulder to try and find the airport, and I'm looking down at the GTN 750, hoping that it's showing me something accurate. Again, just because, all my gauges are out, and I'm sitting here trying to figure out, remembering what runway I was assigned, and I believe it was 35, so that would be 350 degrees. And so I'm trying to, figure out what's half of 350 degrees on a circle, and so that's going to be 170 degrees. So if I was traveling at a heading of 170, then I would be headed in the opposite direction, so I could circle back around and then hit runway 35, because that would be 350 degrees. So it's just kind of knowing that, again, a circle is 360 degrees, and if you want to go half of that, then you're going 180 degrees. You're 180 out, because it's halved. So I'm trying to do that, and look at the GTN 750 again, and look over my shoulder, and just kind of try and judge my position. Because at this point I just really kind of want to land. And I'm not thinking that my gauges are going to be coming back. And then I also notice again, like I said, all my gauges are out. My speed indicator is out, not just my heading indicator. My RPM gauge is out, everything, my altimeter. So, I'm just like, wow. And I'm just wondering, what systems are still going to be working on this, aircraft, even though it's virtual as we're coming in, because my gears are still up, and I haven't even deployed my flaps because, again, I'm not sure of what my airspeed is. And then again, I keep remembering, look at the GTN 750, because that should give me my ground speed in the bottom left-hand corner. So I can use that to determine kind of what my airspeed is. And again, just looking up to, when it's working, to see my position. So again, I'm going to use that, and then as I'm coming in, I'm hoping, because I haven't landed at this airport before, that there's some kind of PAPI system for the glide slope, so that I can at least kind of get in without bouncing, or just plowing into the runway. So, I mean, had this been a real flight, I would have probably been not happy at all. Um, but, so I'm just trying to manage this, because trying to do our best to not quit the simulator, but just go with it and just kind of see how we can get this done. So now I'm pretty much lined up with the runway, and I'm looking at the GTN 750, and it still seems to be working. So I know that I need to correct left just a little bit more. And again, I'm not sure exactly how fast I'm going. So, I mean, this is kind of becoming a whole sight and sound, like we're flying a World War One biplane with no working gauges. Just trying to determine, you know, by all of our senses that we have, because we don't have any gauges, um, roughly how fast we're going so that we don't stall it. And again, just hoping that our gears are going to deploy, just because, I mean, it's obvious that the sim has locked up all of my standard gauges and only the GTN 750 is working. And I mean, I can see that because the yoke isn't turning in the sim. So, I mean, again, it's just a sim, but we are still trying to land. So let's just keep on pressing on. So right about here, our gauges kick back in, and so I deploy our landing gears. And I was just kind of listening to the whine of the motors to try and determine how much throttle was needed before our gauges came back. So we're still too far off the runway. We are not straight or lined up with the runway, so we still have to turn into it. But at least our gauges are all back, and all the animations came back, but the gauges are back, so we can use those to help us land. And just remember to go ahead and stare at the PAPI lights so that you can see what your approach is as you come in, because this runway does have PAPI lights. And remember that PAPI is your friend, and it helps you on your glide slope. And so then there we have it. Touchdown. We're back on the ground. And we can just go ahead and taxi off the runway and taxi to parking. So I'm not going to bore you with all that. I'm just going to keep this video short. And I mean, just so you know, when your gauges are out, sometimes you can use your Garmin, if you have the Garmin in the aircraft, to go ahead and help guide you. Because if one thing isn't working, maybe something else is, and maybe that'll help you land. And again, I just wanted to say, this is only a tutorial for flight sim only. Please don't use this for actual flight training if you're going to fly a plane, because I accept no liability or responsibility for what happens if you do. So, here we have it, everybody, and thank you again for watching Derp Your Hooves, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the skies.
Derp Y Delta Echo Romeo Papa minus Yankee contact ground on 121.7.
121.7 Derp Y Delta Echo Romeo Papa minus Yankee.
Hey everybody, Pony here. So if you haven't done so already, feel free to like and share my videos, and also, if you would, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, because hey guys, I love my subscribers. And you know what? Even if you guys don't want to subscribe, I really appreciate you taking the time out to watch my channel. So once again, thank you for watching Derp Your Hooves, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the skies.